Gonna give it a few minutes to see if I can get some peoples and light my candles and prepare my space. Yeah, I could have done that before I got online. However, I want to join you with my process, which means when shit comes up, I want to help you if maybe it comes up for you too. Okay. I've got the sage, so I'm asking Spirit to please help the words come out properly. I've got this big connection going on right now, and I know I already posted a video for today. I'm going to try and post this one for tomorrow's video on YouTube. I have to keep it to about 25 minutes so I can do card readings in another day. However, if you're able to comment and you're not scared to have your words, because I don't think you can see the actual words on when you upload it to Facebook or to YouTube, but I'm not sure. But my sister inspired me and we got some shit to do. So, if you have any bowls or have any drums or have any paper or pen, grab it now. I'm just going to grab my drum. Okay, that's close enough. Make sure that guy's close. All right. So, I'll get you guys to just rewind later. So, releasing. Okay? How do you know if you're avoiding or if you're processing? So, this is the conversation we were having. Now, if you are processing, then, okay, how do we do this? Okay, if you process and you release an issue, okay, a person will not piss you off. They will not affect you. It might irritate you, but where does it come from? Every single feeling that you have in your body, in your mind, in your thought patterns is reminding you of something else. Okay? If you have a fight right now with your spouse, I guarantee it's not even really about him, unless, of course, he's the one screwing around. But again, take that deeper. How does that go deeper? How many times have you been screwed around on? How many times has he broken your trust? Now, okay, erase him. Who broke your trust before? How far does this go back? So there is a sensitive situation going around with that pedophile and sex stuff, blah, blah, blah. And no, I don't like to sit in that energy very often. I lived it. I do understand, though, how you need to share it because people don't understand. And somebody very close to me started asking me questions and saying, you know what? As parents, you just don't know. You don't know what the hell is going on. You don't know what's going on. And I get that, okay? This is a no blame game. The only people that are responsible for their shit are the ones that cause their shit. Now, okay, so the only person that I can be angry at is the fatheads that did it, okay? And these people, I still work on the forgiveness thing, okay? Because I do forgive them, but I won't ever forget, okay? And as you move through your life, you will heal at, again, another level. And again, another level. Now, I have never, ever written at what I did today. I have never gotten into that much detail. And you know what? That's as far as I'm going to get. Because for some of it, I don't remember everything. I was very good at really blocking things and completely forgetting. I remember not even remembering the fights that I had with the abusive ex. I would just forget because there was nothing I could do about it. So I wouldn't process it. There's the example. Ha! Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, I asked Source for a good example. There's your example. I would literally block it. I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want to live in it. And I mean, he didn't help either. I mean, he would literally come home. The fight would be whatever set him off. I would literally go through that whole experience, whatever the hell happened. All I recall sometimes is him actually kneeling over top of me with his fist, ready to punch me in the face. But it was usually his arm. It wasn't even a straight punch. I just remember that. And that's it. I don't remember anything else other than sitting in my closet, hiding, holding on to my blanket, and crying. He would actually immediately come after. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm like seconds after. And not only did I not process it, but I had to process shit really quick. And I literally had to forget everything that was going on. And he would actually, now of course this is an easier one to talk about other than the other ones. It's very personal. But again, things happen in steps. The more you get abused, the more it starts, the more it festers and it grows like this big, goofy looking tree. Now, you can also stop, and that's why I shared the post today about the kids, is because as an adult, you can stop it at any time if you notice, okay? Because you're not a pig. Just because you don't do something doesn't mean it's not happening out there. Like, I can't even discuss the animal cruelty stuff. Like, I can't look at it. I can't watch it. I can't talk about it. It makes me literally sick. But it's not happening to me, so I don't, that's not my, you know what I mean, right? So there's still things that affect us, that make us sick, and there's things that we can't process. Or maybe it is. Maybe I need to look at that deeper. Why does it bother me? Well, it's fucking cruel, right? But literally, so in those moments, he would come and say, well, can't you just get over it? And I'm like, oh my God, let me fucking breathe. It just happened. Like, let me breathe. And it would literally happen so fast that all of a sudden I was supposed to forgive, like immediately, and it should be over. Now, usually it would only take me a couple hours and I'd be good to go. Now, do you think that I was over those things? Do you think I was healed in those positions? Do you think I processed anything? No, I avoided. I did whatever I could to get back to that peace so I could get out of the ugly situation. So on a milder term, if somebody pisses you off, you need to find out why. Maybe not in that situation. Maybe not in that moment. You need to step out of that moment and find out why they triggered you. Why did they make you angry? Why did they make you jealous? Why did you feel like you were abandoned? Why? Attack those, not attack. Gently go to those feelings and say, okay, why did I feel like that? Okay. Now, I've been doing this nonstop since 1996 when I finally decided I am going to listen to me. Nobody else. I'm going to listen to me. I'm going to listen to Source. Source is going to guide me. And then I moved to Yellowgrass, which was scary as hell. It was only 45 minutes, but it felt like it was like 5 life years away. Then I moved to Estevan, Weyburn, blah, 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 blah. My puzzle began. And in nursing, there's so many different educations or so many different training modules that they'll teach you, like Myers-Briggs, there's just colors, there's just so many different things that nursing has actually taught me. So wherever my lessons have come from, it's relevant and it doesn't matter. What I want to share with you is if something triggers you, you need to dig and find out why, okay? So for example, on a gentle version, say one of my friends decides to, okay, this does not affect me, but let's pretend it does. One of my friends say, oh shit, screw it, I'm going to use it. A person that I thought was very close to me unfriended me on Facebook. This was years and years ago. It hurt my feelings. It pissed me off, okay? It really pissed me off. Now, yes, I could have just said, you know what, fuck you, forget about it. And actually I did. That was my first response and I didn't deal with it. But actually very briefly because I was already in this mojo, right? So I did. Now, just because I can't talk to that person directly does not mean you can't go internal and say, okay, why the hell did that bug me as much? Well, if you've ever followed some of my examples and some of my stories and my life experiences, I didn't have very nice friends, okay? And whether they were nice or good or bad, it was what I attracted because some of these people, no, I couldn't trust. I couldn't tell them my deepest, darkest secrets because it would blow up in my face. You want an example? Read my post today. I literally would try to reach out to certain people, but I would always reach out to the wrong people. I would meet nice men. I would meet nice women. But I was never attracted to that situation because I wanted to be abused. Of course, I didn't want to be abused, but I wanted to be abused. I believed that's what I deserved. I believed I didn't deserve somebody to actually have a conversation with me, to listen to what I had to say without fucking smacking me in the head and saying, shut the hell up. Did I ask you? I never felt safe to be who I truly was. So I learned in my life how to master being the perfect whoever I needed to be in that specific moment. I had shitloads of people that I hung out with in high school, but some weren't very close. Okay. I couldn't open up. I did open up to a few, and they know who they are. And you know what? I probably wouldn't be here without them today, because there was a lot of suicide attempts that they actually helped me get through. And well, of course, the shit I tried didn't work. Now, I'm glad it didn't work, because I'm allowed to use those examples to help enlighten you, to hopefully help enlighten you, to help inspire you. So again, if it triggers you, if it pisses you off, if your sister pisses you off, there is a hidden reason. There is something causing that to be pissed off. So for me, I knew that person just saying goodbye, I'm like, fuck, again, didn't respect me, didn't want to talk to me, figured they were done with me. For whatever reason they did what they did, this is where I took it. They were like, oh, yeah, they just used me for what I was good for, and they only got what they wanted, and now they're done with me. Whatever those feelings are. Now, of course, that goes back to my past. Absolutely it does. Not feeling worthy, not being good enough, never doing anything right. I remember I would get 98% on a test, and somebody would say, well, why'd you get this one wrong? So in my mind, I was never good enough. I could never do anything good enough. Again, healing those processes is the only reason you're digging back, okay? It's not to point blame. It's not to say this person should have done better. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It only has to do with you. And you need to process them, okay? Because if you don't, you will bottle it down, and that son of a bitch is going to come out somewhere. If you do not process, if you do not access that internal guidance from that soul and go into those deep, dark secrets in your personal life and your experience, whether you were pissed off at your mom or not, you don't have to go and you yell at your mom. That has nothing to do with your mother. It has everything to do with you and what you expected from your mother. You can't expect your family to know exactly what to do and exactly what's in your noggin, okay? Because they're there to teach you other aspects, okay? Family is there to teach you so much. I mean, I'm not as calm as Matt Kahn, because, I mean, damn, he can throw in those calm little pedals. I am not there yet, but boy, now I just hold the space, and I know who I can and cannot have conversations with. I do have some family members that are blocked off my Facebook because they couldn't allow me to be me. And doesn't mean I love them any less. I just don't have to deal with certain things. And like I said, I always I let them back in as much as I can, but I don't expect them to change either. Therefore, if they can't look at my posts and respect who I am, then they need to go too. And it's not a personal attack. However, some people will take it as a personal attack. And again, what am I saying? If you take it personal, and that means if somebody pisses you off, somebody makes you jealous. Sometimes I used to get so angry here's another one. This is very good. So we walk in, it's my birthday, and we walk into a bowling alley. And I'm like I said, it's not directed at my family. It's not directed at anybody. It means only that it affected me in one way. So maybe I wasn't picked on the basketball team. I was always on the bench, blah, blah, blah. It's my birthday, and me and my friends go out for supper. They planned this very well. You also know who you are. And they lied really well. They were I didn't get in. Normally, you can't pull a surprise on me because I'm very good at noticing shit, right? So they did very, very well. They decided we're going to go bowling. So I walk into the bowling alley and I saw red. You know what I saw? I saw my mom. I saw all my family bowling. And I looked at Mike and I said, And I wasn't even invited. And that was the first thing. So that inner child came out and started screaming, I can't believe I wasn't even invited. Then, because I was experimenting and trying to find out where all this shit come from, I don't even think I said it out loud. I don't know if I said it out loud. Maybe I didn't even say it out loud. All I remember is this inner child screaming and almost wanting to cry and throw a tantrum right in the middle of the bowling alley and say, I can't believe you guys came bowling and you didn't even invite me on my birthday. Well, you know what? It was a surprise birthday party for me. So all these people, it still kills me. All these people were here for me. So that inner child, that's why I said, respond, don't react. Could you imagine if I would have went and screamed everything that I was feeling in that moment? It wasn't real. It wasn't real. It was in my head. So it doesn't matter what happened. Hell, it could have been rooted in when somebody stole my chocolate bar, or I felt like I wasn't included in certain parties, or whatever, wherever that stems from, it goes back to that inner child that's holding on to all this rage and saying, why not me? Okay, I don't give a shit who planted it there, because they didn't do it on purpose. Okay, if we feel bad, if we feel angry, we need to feel those emotions. So I had a question today, and if you want to put it on here, if you have another question that you want to put on here, that would be great, because usually people that watch the videos have the same. I can still see your posts. I think you guys can still comment. I had a question today. What if a letter doesn't work? Do I need to write another one? Okay, so when I went through my experience last week, I love my family. I love everybody in my life. My sister nailed me to the wall and said, what's going on? Did you write your letter? And I started fucking laughing. I was like, oh my God, that's a great idea. Okay, I wasn't laughing, but I was like, she nailed it. She nailed it and kicked me right in the ass and said, yo, why are you holding on to this shit? And I'm like, oh my God, why am I holding on to this shit? This is not okay. So I told God, I said, look, I'm going to say some really nasty things right now. Please forgive me. I don't mean them to you. I know I need to process, but I'm really going to get ugly. Okay? Why me? What the fuck is happening? This is not fair. This is bullshit. You have to process. You have to release. You have to get rid of the anger. I don't care if you mean it. Don't send the letter to whoever you're saying it to, okay? This is the key too. But you have to get vulgar. And if you're yelling at God, yell at God. God can handle it. I said, yeah, but what I'm going to yell at you. And he says, I got this shit. Archangel Michael steps down and says, here, Stace, yell. Say it all. We're not going to take it personal. I'm like, all right, it's coming. And I had to get rid of it. It doesn't matter where those feelings were coming from. It doesn't matter. None of it. Because my sister was like, well, you know everything's going to be okay, right? But you know you have a right to be mad. And I'm like, you're right. I have a right to be mad. Yes, I know everything's going to be okay. I still have a positive attitude, but you have to release the shit. If you do not release it, it will come out in back pains and migraines, and you'll be constipated. It'll blow up as a zit. There's Louise Hayes has a great book out there. If you need to know, maybe we can put a link on the bottom of this video. But it's a great book, and it actually, if you have something that is bothering you, you enter it in and you look. And you know what? Some of this shit is so accurate. I used to have really bad knee problems. Well, I fought it. I was pride. I was so full of pride and ego and said, well, this is the way it has to be, and I don't give a shit, and blah, 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 blah. And it was the beginning of my nursing career. So if you ever want to know what that means, look up on Google new nurses versus old nurses. Okay? And once you start, if you start reading that nursing thing, it's freaking hilarious. Okay? And I've been in healthcare for 24 years, so I'm definitely in that older category. That rules are a lot different these days because other people make these rules. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about serious shit. I'm talking about shit people used to fight over, like which way a pad should go on a bed. Where the pillows should be placed in a bum. Some people from, and I have to give examples because, you know, it's my nursing duty. But really, people would fight over where to put the pillows. Okay? I worked with a great crew on palliative, and we just smiled and nodded and said, this is your room. Where do you want the pillows? I had people from ortho that like to brace or seal the hip. But in my experience as an aide, we had to have proper body alignment. So I never put it under the hip because the people that I was working with weren't injured, and you would protect the hip by putting it under the pillow or in between the knees. Again, irrelevant. The reasons are irrelevant. It doesn't matter where the pillow goes as long as that patient is comfortable. Inevitably, that's what the point is. So certain people I would ask, where do you want the pillow? Does it feel better here or here? They would tell me. Mission accomplished. Done. Back in the day, I'd think, no, it has to be here because this is the way my boss said it has to be, and the pillow has to be angled like this because that's what they said. You have to be able to bounce a quarter off this bed. That's my point. So next. So if you're processing your shit, how do you know if it's released and how do you know if it's healed? When you enter into that same situation, you will not react. You will not respond. You will not get angry. Literally, I can share things about my past where I could never, ever, ever share before. Okay? In fear of what people are going to say to me. Maybe people wouldn't believe me. Do you realize I still process? We actually had a conversation about this at the beach, and I was like, this is awkward, but I'm going to stay with it. Of course, I told myself that. I was like, this is a really weird conversation. I feel like I should run, but I'm going to stay in it. And I learned a lot in that conversation. I learned so much. And whether I knew I was going to be talking about these things 3 weeks later, Spirit says, what Spirit wants, Spirit gets. And I was actually telling my friends, so why I live my life sometimes on YouTube. I'm losing my thing. Oh, there. So I was on palliative, and a dear friend lost her husband. And she's not a non-believer, but she's still unable to look after herself right now. It's easier for her to love other people than it is for her to love herself. And you know what? That's all of us. That's all of us, depending on what stage we're in. So anyways, her husband passed, and her husband told me that I have to give her one of my flaming lamps. And I said, yeah, but she's not even going to like it. What if she doesn't even like it? She's not going to want it. I'm not going to just go out of my way to go give it to her. She's going to think I'm a spaz and whatever. I said, I don't even know if she likes me. And he says, I don't care. You need to give it to her. I'm like, oh. So I texted her. I said, where do you live? What's your address? And she says, no, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. And I'm not kidding. This guy was yelling in my ear and saying, you need to go do it. I am not going to let up unless you go do it. And I'm like, you know what, honey? I don't even give a shit what you have to say to me right now because he can access me a hell of a lot more than you can. He is on the other side. He is telling me you need it. And I don't know what it means to you, but I need to do it because I'm more scared of him than I'm scared of you. Okay, and the scaring wasn't officially fear. It's just this guy can be a hell of a lot more of a pain in the ass than a text message from somebody that just doesn't want somebody to love her. So I delivered it. I don't know if she liked it. I don't know because she doesn't share, and that's okay. But she did share, yeah, that's kind of how he acted, and he made sure that I would always get something because that's what he needed. Like, he took care of her. And so it's a great example. And any questions, any statements, any comments? I don't see nothing. How are we doing for time? I don't know. I have to watch the video sizes because I'm having difficulties with the Baker videos. So, if there's no questions, ways to release, okay? I want you to think of something right now that pisses you off, okay? So you need to physically release this shit. If letter writing does not work, and thank you, I just got the nudge from someone. And again, maybe I'm just not getting them. Maybe we're not supposed to. It's okay. Whatever is. So you need to, if letter writing doesn't work, sometimes you need to step that shit up. Okay. The one thing that did it for me was Soul Voice with Karina. I would shake, I would cry, I couldn't hold a freaking conversation in front of all these people. If my life could, I would read and I would be shaking and I'd have stage fright because I wasn't supposed to talk. And now I'm in the light. Now I'm in the teaching mode. And now I'm supposed to stand at the front of the class and teach, and people are going to listen to me, and they're not going to be mean to me. They're not going to call me Shaggy A or a dog or insult me or tell me that I'm sticking my boobs out too far because I'm trying not to have my grandma's back. All those different little things would come up, and not in these situations, because obviously they were safe situations, but that's why they helped me heal. When I went into Soul Voice, I actually felt we were supposed to do this thing, and you know what? You can get our book, you can do the videos or the CDs, and literally you put your hands down, you stand up nice and tall, and you open your mouth as big as you can, and you go, ah! And you don't have to sound like anything. It doesn't have to have a level. It doesn't have to have a tune. It doesn't have to do nothing. You know what? I can do it now. When we stood in that group, I had fucking nothing. It was closed. I was frozen. I was like, I'm like, no, what's happening? I couldn't. Nothing. She came over, she grabbed my heart, and she shook it, and she says, push. And I fucking pushed, and all of a sudden, I'm bawling my face off, okay? Bawling. I felt the energy move from my stomach to my throat. It literally, and I don't mean puking, I felt the energy connect. It was like my soul finally connected with my voice, okay? What does that mean in this situation right now? You need something to help you release. I don't care what it is. Find something that scares the shit out of you or makes you, and I'm not talking smart fear versus fear. Now, I knew I was supposed to go to this Soul Voice. I knew with every being. I knew with every soul. But you know what? I never talked about it because I knew if I talked about it, if I looked into it, I wasn't going at all. I knew that I needed it, but I couldn't look into it because I knew it'd scare the shit out of me, and I knew I would back up. So anyways, it was out of this world, weird as hell. But you know what? My husband said, now, not only did I take the 2-3 day, then all of a sudden I pushed myself even farther. Now, when I left this 2 day, I hated her with a passion. I was angry. I was off. I was so mad at her. I was even doing Reiki. She grabbed my hand. She goes, get that shit out of here. And I'm telling you, she challenged everything, but it's exactly what I needed to destroy the pride and all the shit that I had built within my mind. I needed those walls busted down. Like I said, I hated her. And then all of a sudden, after I had a month or so to heal, all these people are saying, you need to go to this course. You need to go. I said, screw you. I ain't going. Nope. Then something clicked. And I heard, Stacy, you have to go to Toronto. And I'm like, I don't want to go to Toronto. I don't want to. I just don't want to because, oh my God, I don't want to. And I knew it would challenge everything that I was believing. And it's little shit. Like, I had to be in charge, okay? And because I wasn't in charge, oh my God, certain things were a disaster, okay? For me, this would have been a disaster. We were supposed to meet a woman in the airport. She was coming from Edmonton. I said, all right, because they were like, well, I don't know what time her flight comes in, and I don't know this. And I'm like, okay. And this is leadership, right? Boom, boom, boom. I knew exactly what to ask, what to say. And I'm like, okay, what flight is she on? Oh. What time is she supposed to come in? Oh. I'm like, you're meeting somebody at the airport, and we're supposed to pick her up, and you don't have any information at all? Do you know what she looks like? Well, no. We just know we're supposed to pick her up. I'm like, vibrating, because I never would have put myself in that situation. Never. It taught me so much. No, I don't always have to be in control, but you know what? When I do have control, I make damn sure things are smooth. That's a gift for me. Some people may call that a control freak or whatever. It's a gift. And that is one of my strengths, that I can go and assess and say, okay, what do I need when I'm going into this person's room? Well, I need a face cloth, I need a towel, I need an extra diaper, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. So that when I'm actually in that situation, no matter what happens, I'm covered. I'm good to go. Oh, they're dribbling. Boom! I got an extra sheet to throw underneath. We're good. Don't worry about it. We're good. So, whatever you're guided to take to help you smash down those walls is what you need to smash. Because if you don't, it will manifest into something else because it needs to be released. Whether it is into a knee that never heals, you can heal your body. Okay? Regardless what is going on in your body, you can heal it. I have seen people cure themselves completely of cancer. Gone. Okay? Just by working with all these levels of issues. And I'm not saying it's easy, because you're going to have to push yourself. You have to push yourself. Now you can sound. You can scream. You can say, archangels, I got to scream. And the more you get in tune with yourself, the more you will know exactly what you need to do. Whether it's kneel down and pray, whether it's cry. And again, yes, you need to cry. You can't fight back those tears, because one day, all of a sudden, boom, everything blows up. And you're like freaking out on somebody and they're like, what the fuck just happened here? It's usually not that person that triggers it. But sometimes you got all this. It's like a balloon. You blow, there's an issue. Blow again, there's another issue. Fuck, it happened again. And as you keep blowing into there, if you don't find a way to release it, what happens? The balloon bursts. And it comes out all unhealthy and it attacks all these other people. And you know what? Sometimes it creates stuff for them that they also have to heal. Okay? So there's so many different aspects, but there's so many different ways to help you heal. Find them. Yell in your car. Scream. In some of my sound classes or whatever, some of my classes I've said, Alan Jackson has never been so vulgar. Okay? I would come home from work and I'd have all his anger. It doesn't matter where it came from. Okay? And this is actually what maybe I haven't been processing, and it's coming out all these different oozy ways. Because I'm picking up so much other stuff that's outside of the world right now. So I need to start releasing it. Even if it's not my shit, doesn't matter. You got to get it out. And I was actually singing. I felt all this rage and stuff, and I was driving home, and all of a sudden my favorite Alan Jackson song comes on, and I start screaming these words. God. Okay? And I'm telling you, I've never heard Alan Jackson sing that vulgar in my life. But I said, Archangel Michael, please put the bubble in front of me, because I'm going to say some real nasty shit. Now, that's why I say respond, don't react. Okay? You can react when you're with the angels and spirit, because they can help get rid of all that crap that we just dumped. Okay? It's real crap. That's why it manifests into shit. That's why it manifests into bad things. Yes, I'm not saying that sometimes we don't have a bad way as we're leaving out, or maybe we chose cancer will be our end, or heart attack, or whatever. But I'm talking about the shit that can be healed, okay? I'm talking about shit like Wayne Dyer. He was diagnosed with leukemia, and that's what started his whole healing process. Look up Wayne Dyer. He'll share it. He'll show you. Anita Moore, I think is her name. Dying to Be Me, another book. That's the point. We live in fear. We have to find things to help us heal, because we don't have to have all these bad things happening all the time. I mean, health issues, right? Because the world is always going to challenge us. Our floor is going to heap and say, how are you going to deal with me today? Are you over me? And it's going to poke at that wound, and it's going to dig that little knife in, and you'll be like, oh well, shit happens. Okay? Example, yeah, I was bawling, I was pissed off, I dumped it all out, but I also knew in the back of my mind, regardless, God's going to take care of me, Source always takes care of me, Spirit always takes care of me. However, the feelings of betrayal, the feelings were real, and I needed to get those out, okay? I needed to get those out. I needed to honor those feelings. So, a good example is if milk spills all over the floor, and you start yelling at somebody. Well, maybe your mom used to yell at you every time you make a mess. Whatever. That's how deep this shit goes. So as I worked through my processes, sometimes I would have flipped out. Oh my God, you made a mess. What the... Okay. So my husband broke a mirror that was actually made for me. It was handmade. And he actually went out and bought, and as we were dating, he went out and he bought this statue. And he says, he came to pick me up from work. He goes, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, holy fuck, what's wrong? Did my ferrets die? Because that's how upset he was. And I'm like, did my ferrets die? He says, no. Oh, okay. Well, what then? I broke your mirror. I'm like, well, nothing I can do about it. All right. He's like, is that it? You're not going to freak out on me? What the hell? And I'm like, well, did you do it on purpose? No. I said, it was an accident, right? Yeah. Yeah, I realize it can't be replaced because it was made out of that stained glass or whatever. What are you going to do? Nothing. Nothing you can do about it. And he's like, what the hell? So that's what I mean, is it won't affect you anymore. It won't have that power over you. I'm not saying sometimes you won't be irked and say, oh shit, I did it again. Okay? But you can heal it. And each process will get you closer to getting rid of it. And yeah, maybe sometimes you have to write 3 letters. I had 4 pages. 3 pages? 3 pages, both sides. I was pissed off. Family. You know, that goes with the same with helping with if you lose family, unresolved issues. Tell them, but also write yourself a letter back. And you know what? Don't tell even if they're not dead. Write them a letter. Again, do not send it. Burn it. Bury those ashes. Release the ashes in the water. But write a letter back to yourself. Okay? Once you find out where this shit's coming from, help your inner child through it. Because it's this inner child, it's all these experiences, whether it's past life, and whether it's not even real. Shit, sometimes it might not even be real. Right? Maybe it's a past. And whatever, who cares? Address it. Okay, say, well, that's not real right now. That's not real for me. My family is very supportive. They love me. I get little surprise presents. I get asked. They know I'm working. Maybe they're not texting. Like I told somebody else today, I said maybe they're not texting because they haven't been on Facebook because it's been really dark on Facebook and they just don't want to be on Facebook. He's like, oh, all right. Makes sense. It can be that simple. Anywho, I hope I helped. I don't see any comments now. Maybe there'll be comments later. I'll try to reply back. If you have any questions, write them down. Let's talk about it. Just because we're on video doesn't mean it won't help. And again, if you got to scream, scream. Teach the kids, scream. Let's just release anger. So right now, wherever you are, just warn everybody, okay? We're going to scream, okay? And literally, archangels, whoever wants to release with me. I want you to put up and I want you... Sage, if you can travel through all dimensions in time and space, please help cut any cords, help them get whatever they need to get out of this, and remind them that they are loved beyond measure. There's no way you could ever understand how loved you are and how important love is. Love yourself. It begins with you. It's okay to get mad. Again, just don't worry about where it comes from. I mean the people, okay? Don't attack the people. Help yourself heal. Move through that. I remember one guy at work, every time he touched me, it would feel like it was mud. And I actually went up to a housekeeper once. I said, can you just wipe my back? And they looked at me, what the hell are you talking about? I said, please just do it. So she starts going like this. I said, oh my God, thank you. Because I couldn't reach. And it felt like this person had actually put all this muck. Unfortunately, he passed away of cancer, but he was mad and he was angry. And he taught me so much. And I looked at him once and I said, is there anybody you like? And he goes, he says, I like you. He says, but damn, I try to get your goat and I just can't do it. So remember, sometimes if you stop reacting, that takes away somebody's favorite toy. Keep that in mind. Sometimes your friendships and relationships with people will change because you've taken away the reaction. And you've taken away the... Oh, I got cut off, so I think that's a big sign. Anyways, sometimes you take away somebody's favorite toy. Don't be afraid to take away their toy. Be good to yourself. Namaste, Espavo. I love you guys, man. You're the best. Mwah.